Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look at the frame break cards that have been announced coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and we're actually getting full arts now, which is pretty cool. And there's a small enough amount of them to where I feel comfortable being able to rank all of them. So we're going to rank all of them from best to worst, not based on card effect, because some of these are significantly better than some others. Like, for example, the new Rocket is a circular, which is absolutely crazy. And a bunch of the other cards are, like, serviceable, right? However, with that being said, we're going to talk about the artworks, because I think that's mostly what these are designed to be, right? Cool artworks for iconic monsters. Or cards in general, right? Or whatever the hell this is. So let's go over the artworks and just talk about what are the best, what are the worst, and here you go. That's pretty much it. So first and foremost, let's start off with the criteria. Here's the thing. When it comes to artworks, I think something that is very important is making it clear and easy to identify what's happening in a card, right? Especially if you're looking at a card that's like small. Especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! We have smaller cards, which makes it even worse. But overall, like, actually having the ability to see the artwork, I think is very important. So, keep that in mind. A clear, identifiable artwork is going to matter way more than just, like, a good artwork. It's one of the reasons why I like the original artwork for Engage as opposed to the new one. The new one's fine, but the old one is extremely well done as a card artwork. And I think that's one of the things that makes it so good. So, taking a look at these, let's start off with, I guess we'll just start off with the Dark Magician. Here's the thing, this one is a very, very solid addition to Dark Magician. I don't think it's insane, but it is a fairly decent card artwork. And I like the full frame of him kind of reaching his hand out, casting a spell. You can see the spell kind of happening in the background, and I think it's pretty good. Next up, we have Blue Eyes as well, which I think is also a fairly decent one. I'm going to put it above in the tier above. Just having the clear identifiable Blue Eyes White Dragon and it's doing that action of performing the attack makes it extremely good. Next up we have the Pendulum Magician Astrograph Sorcerer. I actually don't hate this one. This one's pretty good. For the most part, I think that most of these artworks are really good. So all in all, I'm comparing them to other incredible artworks, so it's hard to necessarily say that like one is worse than the other, so much so that it's like a bad artwork. It's more of just a worse artwork, if that makes sense. Speaking of, this is by far the worst one. The problem is that, dear Atlanta, what is happening in this card artwork? I mean, we can zoom in, right? We can zoom in, we can look at the, I think this is, I don't remember what card this is, but you can very clearly identify that this is all of the Signer Dragons alongside Crimson Dragon, which is a like that is something I would like to have on a poster. As a card artwork, it's terrible, it's atrocious, it's really, really bad, because it's very difficult to identify what's actually happening. And so for me, I think it is a very clear not very good. Yeah, that's it. On top of that, I'm not just a big fan of the way that this one bleeds over. You can see like Life Stream Dragon over here and Red Dragon Archfiend over here. You barely see Stardust. Like it's clunky and a mess, and it's by far the worst one. That's it. Next up we have the new Boral, which is yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really good. Again, most of these are in some sort of action pose, performing an action, right? This one happens to be in a, I don't know, it's just like that very clear red and black color design works really well against the blue background, and it really makes it pop out and feel more alive than I think some of the other ones, right? And I think that does help, or what does help is the fact that it is a Link monster, so its background is already blue, kind of contrasting with some of the other colors in here, which is pretty cool. He's also just grabbing the dark symbol, which is very fun. So all in all, good artwork. Next up we have the, what is this one? It's the Speedroid card. This one also is kind of just, I don't know. This one is almost held back by the background. It's kind of the opposite of the Borderland one, where the white background really doesn't help the, you know, having like a green and a white background. Overall, I'm not a big fan of most of the synchros because I think the white background in a full art doesn't really work very well. And I feel like this one is kind of in a similar vein. That's pretty much it. Cyber End, goated. Goated, S tier. It's incredible. Yeah, that's it. I don't really have much to say. It just works really, really well as a full art, right? Feels like it's taking up that whole frame and really showcasing its power, you know, with the arch back of the main neck, while the other one is kind of coming into frame over here, and the other one's on the other side. It just looks really well, and yeah, I think that's a clear S tier. Next we have one of these rituals. I don't even know. I don't remember this card at all. Oh, I just realized we don't have the Dark Magician of Chaos and the Blackluster Soldier retrains on here, which did get the full artworks, but I guess they're not frame break cards per se. They got their own full arts, because I think they also have non-full art variant. I could be wrong. But yeah, those are not in here. I'd have to look at them again in the full art to necessarily say, but I think both of them were pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. This one's another one. I'm gonna zoom in a bit more on this one. Yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's great, though. It kind of blends into the background, as opposed to where, again, looking back at this one, right, which is so iconic in my mind now, which I might bring it up. Overall, having that contrasting background really helps identify where the artwork is and where the card is, and kind of give it that nice contrast. And this one has a very similar color, and it blends in to the background as opposed to standing out, right? It doesn't feel like it's breaking out of the frame. It feels like it's being contained by the frame. And I feel like that is a disservice. In fact, I'm gonna bring this one down. It feels like it's a disservice to the frame rate, right? Next up, we have the Cyber Switch. This one's a fairly simple artwork. I'm not too big of a fan of it overall, like as an artwork, but as a frame break, I think it works pretty well. It's not exceptional, but it does at least, again, it has that contrasting artwork. It looks very clear that it's coming out of the frame. It's, a fairly solid artwork overall, but it's not my favorite. So I think it's a pretty solid B tier. Next up, we have the new, okay. I have a gripe with this artwork, and it is the fact that this card is called Dark Magical Circle, and the Dark Magical Circle is, do you see it? Do you see it now? Can you find it? It's right back there. Why is he hiding? Why is the card art for the actual name of the card in the background? It's very silly. Overall, I do actually think that this is another instance of really good card design, or like art design. Again, it's that contrasting background that works really well, right? The blue and the pink make it very clear that this is Dark Magician Girl, and you can very clearly identify where she is in the artwork, alongside even the Dark Magical Curtain, and then where the card itself is. And I think that helps a bunch. I don't know, the artwork's fine. It's a Dark Magician Girl artwork, it's fine. But overall, I think that, again, it being a spell card helps significantly to make it stand out in that way. Whereas, something like a Dark Magician, just having that brown background doesn't really help it, right? Even though I like this artwork of Dark Magician significantly more, it's that background that really hinders it, right? Make sense? Makes sense. Not only do I love this artwork, I also hate it with every fiber of my being. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like, it is a mess. This looks very clunky. Again, similar to how this one works, where it kind of feels like it's being trapped in the frame as opposed to breaking out of the frame and like exploding onto the scene. It almost looks like it is being shrunken down because it looks like we're missing so much of the artwork as opposed to it being more broadened and we get to see more of it, right? Which is generally the case with a lot of these. It feels like we are seeing more of what's happening as opposed to less. This one kind of feels the opposite. However, it being so big in the frame and feeling like we're not capturing the entirety of it also is kind of the selling point of the artwork, where it's like, yeah, here's this big boss monster that you get access to, and like, you know, it's supposed to look cool. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it in B because I both love it and hate it. But yeah, it'll go in B for now. This is pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie. This could just be a regular ass artwork, and I wouldn't. This is the same card that I've seen like 4 different times. This is one of the lamest uses of a frame break. It's bad. You can say how much you love the hero cards or how much you like the artwork. This is a bad use of frame breaks. If you're gonna make it pop out of the frame, make it pop out of the frame. Make it look like it needs to pop out of the frame, right? Which is what like a lot of these other ones do, except for this one. I guess this one you could just put in a box. The only difference is that this one is boring as hell. There you go. Kind of same thing with Future Fusion. I do think it's a... No, this one's also lame. Like, I will say they're not as bad. Like, they're fairly decent. But again, it's in that nature of, why is this a frame break? This could have been any other card. And I've seen cards just like this that look the exact same. And it's just like, man, this could have been cool. But instead, it's this boring artwork, and it doesn't really justify its existence as a frame break or as a full art, right? You're not really getting anything new from those full arts. Speaking of which, we got some more. Yeah, these are like the exact same. This one is a little bit better simply due to the fact that it does feel like he's kind of punching out of the frame. In fact, I'm gonna put this guy in B tier. He's actually not bad. But this one is just like, why are you a frame break? Man, that's lame. That's just not a very interesting frame break action, right? There's not a purpose to it feeling bigger or larger in the frame so that it needs to break out and get that full artwork, right? Feels kind of silly. This one is incomprehensible, dude. What is happening in this? Oh, I zoomed in too much. Even zoomed in, I'm still like, huh? I get that it's orbital 7, right? But all in all, it's not exactly the greatest identification of orbital 7. Like, to me, I see this big drill and I immediately think of Labyrinth Tank, right? Especially with the new art, or with the new retrain of all of the Labyrinth cards, right? I think of the Labyrinth Tank normal summon in that deck, and I don't think of orbital 7. And so when I zoom out, I'm just thinking of the Labyrinth Tank and not seeing orbital 7. And that's so much of what what your eyes are drawn to in the frame. It's frustrating because it's like, no, I want to see orbital 7. I want to see this guy, as opposed to seeing an entirely different card, right? So it's kind of frustrating. I think if this were just, maybe if the background wasn't blue here, right? Like, maybe if they just didn't have this like blue background, I'd probably see it a little bit more. But I don't know. It's frustrating there. This one is also, dear Orlando, what is happening in this card artwork? Oh, it's the Pendulum Magician. Well, yeah, it's a pendulum. Of course, it's a Pendulum Magician. This feels very similar to the Gaga Gaga Girl one, where it's just like, why are you a frame break? That's it. Stardust. It's okay. The thing is, they kind of circumvent the problem of having the white background here by instead giving Stardust a yellow background, which I think helps so that you're not putting, you know, white or white-esque on white, so that you get a little bit more of that contrast and a little bit more of that distinction. It's still kind of stuck there, but the actual pose of Stardust is menacing and imposing and makes it so that it feels warranted, that it has that frame break, right? And that it's coming out of the frame. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next we have Kuriboh. This one's good. This one's great. This is exactly what Kuriboh is. It's the identity of multiplication alongside all of the myriad of Kuriboh. And it feels like, again, it's coming out of the frame. In fact, there's even a card on here as well that it's breaking out of. So it looks like it's breaking out of multiple frames, which is really cool. I think it's just like a really great artwork. Really well done. And, I mean, Kuriboh. We all love Kuriboh, right? Next up, we have whatever the hell this is. Look, this is maybe the only one where I just don't like the artwork. Yeah, no, that's it. I got nothing for you. It's some Galaxy Eyes thing, and it feels like a mess. That's all. I don't have anything else. Just don't like the artwork. Obviously, this one is way more subjective. I don't really have anything more objective to say. I just think it looks bad. The Decode Talker one's fine. It's not great, though, but it's fine. We have the new Shining Hero. I think this one's actually pretty good. It's a nice, solid... again, that contrast, right? The white armor of Shining Neos. Is it Shining Neos? Something of that nature. The Shining Neos with the purple, very dark background of the fusion material, and the big action of that punch with impact almost, that shockwave-esque coming off of it. Looks really good. Very solid artwork. The Utopia one, I actually do... It's not better than Dark Magician. In fact, I'm going to bring the Dark Magician one up. I think this is like top of B, this one's like bottom of A, right? And I think these are a very clear distinction in like quality. But this one I do think is still pretty good, right? The sword is very clearly extending past the frame, almost pointing at you, right? And it feels big and larger than life, which is great. That's exactly what you want from these cards. It's a nice middle of the road. It doesn't really do anything exceptional, but it doesn't really do anything poor. There you go. This one is just... it's not great. It really isn't. It's fine in the sense that, like, it's... No, I really want to put this lower, but it's not that bad. There's nothing wrong with it, per se. It's just boring. It's another instance of, like, why is this a frame break? It feels unnecessary. It feels like they didn't really use the idea of it breaking out of the frame or, you know, being larger than the card artwork or doing a full art in any real meaningful way. So, I don't know. It's not great. I don't have anything else to say with that one. Oh, man. Yeah, let's put a whole bunch of guys on this. It's bad card artwork because there's so much going on here. But, yeah, I mean, it's similar in nature to this one where it's like, oh, this is like a good artwork. It's just not a good card artwork. Because trying to identify what's happening on the card artwork when it's small and you don't have the ability to, like, I don't know, look at it through a microscope, makes it very frustrating. Obviously, if you were to expand that and look at it as a big artwork, it'd be fine. But even then, I still don't like this artwork. I don't think it's great. It works as an artwork, technically, but it's not great. We have the new rocket one. This one's fine. I think it's pretty cool that, you know, the rockets are coming out of the frame. Looks like they're charging towards you, which I think is pretty cool. It's a nice use of the space. You got some nice color here with the green light in the background, with the blue, yellow, and red here. Looks pretty good, all in all. Junk Synchron, man, this one's incredible. For just as simple of a card as it is, right? Or as simple of an artwork as it is, its simplicity is what actually makes it so good. It very clearly is coming out of the frame, and it uses that space very well by imposing himself, kind of being like, look at me. And it's a very iconic pose. Just the spread arms, spread legs. He's being synchro summoned, right? And I think it looks really, really cool. Also, yeah, he is being used as synchro material. You can kind of see that in the background there. And I think that's really, really cool. Just really well done. I got nothing else for you. It just looks sick. We have some fusion thing here with orbs. I don't know what's going on in Arc V, but man, they make incomprehensible monsters. Just not incomprehensible in like Lovecraftian or Cthulhu-esque ways, but more just what is it that I'm supposed to be looking at? Am I supposed to try and understand what's happening here? Because dear Lanta, I cannot. And I don't know. Man, these Arc V artworks, not great. Next up we have this one. I don't remember what the I know the effect technically allows you to basically do the combos on the opponent's turn. So much so that you basically just win the game, or you can, right, by having this. That being said, this artwork's okay. It's similar in nature to both of these, where it's a bunch of monsters and iconic monsters that are in the frame. The only difference is that these ones are more easily identifiable. You can very clearly see what's happening here. It's just that it feels as though you don't really need the frame break. It's not really doing anything to warrant the frame break in a way that like looks good. The full art is it's fine, right? But overall, at least it's a little bit better of a group shot. And then we have the new Wings Karibo. This one's fine. Yeah, it's a good frame break. I got nothing else. It's just solid. It's not exceptional. It's not bad. I really like the direction of light. Just seeing the clear shadows on the side there is pretty cool, with the highlights on the wings and on the face of the Karibo. I think that's some pretty cool artwork and lighting. But overall, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of stinkers in here. But again, to reiterate, I don't think that any of these artworks are objectively bad. It is more a fact of, in comparison to other frame break cards, how well do they do at being frame breaks, and a lot of these are not great. That's pretty much it. But yeah, we did get, I will say, almost all of these are really cool artworks, and I like a lot of their artworks. In comparison, there are some clearly better ones. But that's pretty much it. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like, subscribe, show appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.